Welcome to the presentation on MPLS Networks, also known as multi-protocol label switching technology. MPLS is a powerful networking solution used to speed up and manage network traffic more efficiently. In this presentation, we'll explore what MPLS is, how it works, and its key benefits. Consider the core of the network represented by the MPLS core, where label switch routers or LSRs reside. At the edges of the network, we have label edge routers or LERs, which connect the MPLS core to other networks. So, what exactly is MPLS? MPLS is a routing technique that operates between Layer 2, the data link layer, and Layer 3, the network layer of the OSI model. Instead of relying on IP lookups for packet forwarding, MPLS uses a technique called label switching, which allows for faster and more efficient data transmission. MPLS is protocol agnostic, meaning it can support various network protocols such as IP, ATM, and frame relay. It also enables advanced features like traffic engineering, quality of service or QoS, and virtual private network services. Looking at the OSI model, you can see how the MPLS layer sits between the network and data link layers, effectively streamlining data transfer. Let's explore the key components that make up an MPLS network. The first component is the label. A label is a short, fixed-length identifier that is inserted between the Layer 2 and Layer 3 headers. It determines how packets are forwarded through the network. The label size is typically 20 bits and is locally significant to each router. Next, there is the label edge router or LER. This router sits at the edge of the MPLS domain. It adds or removes labels from packets as they enter or leave the MPLS network. Label edge routers are also known as provider edge routers. Then we have the label switch router or LSR, which is a core router within the MPLS domain. This router forwards packets based on the label value, rather than the IP address. Label switch routers are also known as provider routers in service provider networks. Lastly, we have the label switched path or LSP. This is a predetermined path through the MPLS network. Packets follow this path based on their labels. The label switched path functions like a virtual circuit or tunnel through the network. Let's take a closer look at the MPLS label structure. An MPLS label consists of four main fields. First, the label value. This is 20 bits long and identifies the LSP, determining the next hop forwarding. Next is the EXP field, which is 3 bits. This field is used for quality of service and priority marking. It is now called TC or traffic class. Then there is the S field. This is a single bit that indicates the bottom of the stack. A value of 1 indicates that it is the bottom label, while a value of 0 indicates it is not. Finally, there is the time to live field or TTL, which is 8 bits. This counter prevents routing loops. When we look at the position of the MPLS label in a packet, you can see that it is positioned between the Layer 2 header and the IP header. This placement allows MPLS to streamline the routing process efficiently. Label distribution is a critical process in MPLS networks. It involves the way labels are assigned and managed across the network. There are several protocols used for label distribution. First, we have the Label Distribution Protocol or LDP, which is a standard protocol that automatically establishes and maintains label bindings. It uses TCP for reliable transport and operates independently from the routing protocol. Next is RSVP-TE, or Resource Reservation Protocol Traffic Engineering. This extends RSVP to support label distribution and traffic engineering capabilities. It allows for explicit path setup with resource reservations. Lastly, we have the Border Gateway Protocol or BGP, which is used for distributing labels in MPLS VPN environments. It carries both routing information and label bindings between autonomous systems. The label distribution process begins with routers establishing neighbor relationships, followed by downstream routers assigning labels to forward equivalence classes, or FECs. These labels are then distributed upstream, and the label bindings are stored in the Label Information Base, or LIB. Now let's discuss MPLS packet forwarding. Packet forwarding in MPLS involves three key operations: push, swap, and pop. First, we have the push operation. The ingress LER adds one or more labels to an unlabeled packet when it enters the MPLS domain. It maps the IP destination to the appropriate FEC and label. Then we have the swap operation. The LSR replaces the incoming label with a new outgoing label according to its label forwarding information base, or LFIB, and forwards the packet. Finally, we have the pop operation. The egress LER removes the label from the packet before forwarding it out of the MPLS domain. This may also occur at the penultimate hop, known as PHP. As the IP packet travels across the MPLS network, the ingress LER performs an IP lookup and pushes a label. The label switch routers then perform label swaps to efficiently forward the packet. Finally, the egress LER performs a label pop to remove the MPLS label before forwarding the packet to its destination. MPLS networks have several key applications. The first application is MPLS VPN, or Virtual Private Network, which creates secure, isolated virtual networks over a shared MPLS infrastructure. It enables service providers to offer private network services to multiple customers. The benefits of MPLS VPNs include Layer 3 VPNs for IP routing isolation and Layer 2 VPNs, like VPLS and VPWS, for Ethernet services. The next application is traffic engineering, or TE. This allows precise control over traffic paths beyond what traditional IP routing offers. It optimizes network resource utilization and prevents congestion. The benefits of traffic engineering include explicit path selection with constraints and load balancing across multiple paths. MPLS also supports quality of service, or QoS, which provides differentiated service levels for various traffic types. It uses the EXP bits in the MPLS label to mark and prioritize traffic classes. The benefits of quality of service include low latency paths for voice and video and bandwidth guarantees for critical applications. Finally, MPLS is used for Fast Reroute, or FRR, which provides sub-50 millisecond protection switching for MPLS traffic in case of link or node failures. It pre-computes backup paths for immediate failover. The benefits of Fast Reroute include link protection for single link failures and node protection for router failures. Now let's look at the benefits and challenges of MPLS. Some benefits of MPLS include performance. MPLS offers faster packet forwarding through label switching instead of complex IP lookups, which reduces latency and improves throughput. MPLS also provides scalability, supporting large-scale networks with thousands of sites and millions of routes through hierarchical labeling. Also, it provides traffic engineering, giving precise control over traffic paths beyond traditional IP routing capabilities and optimizing network utilization. Some challenges of MPLS include cost. It requires specialized hardware and expertise, leading to higher operational expenses compared to standard IP networks. MPLS also has complexity, being more complex to configure, troubleshoot, and maintain than traditional IP networks, requiring specialized knowledge. Finally, MPLS introduces visibility challenges. Troubleshooting can be challenging due to encapsulation, and it requires specialized tools to gain visibility into MPLS operations. Despite these challenges, MPLS remains a critical technology for service providers and large enterprises that require reliable, scalable, and feature-rich network infrastructure with guaranteed performance. If you like this video, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. Visit codelucky.com for more such useful content.